Turn me to the book of John, chapter 5. It's great to see everybody here.
Amen.
Amen. John chapter 5, beginning at the first verse. And the word of the Lord reads this. Receive a blessing from it. I don't know about you. That song blessed me. Says this, after this there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. And these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water.
All right.
For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. It says, and a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. Somebody say 38 years.
Yes, 38 years.
When Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Jesus said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And the word says something great right here in verse 9. It says, and immediately, somebody say immediately, the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Amen. You may be seated. Amen.
Thank you, Lord.
Talk from the topic of I should have been next. I should have been next.
All right.
I've been trying to preach this sermon to y'all for a couple weeks now, but the Lord has been doing some different things. Amen. But I should have been next. The greatest thing I love about numbers is this, is that one thing about numbers, that no matter where you are at, in the numbers or the chronological order, is that you know what comes before and you know what comes after. You ever be going through the alphabet and sometimes you just can't guess what's next, so you got to go sing the whole alphabet? You got to something. But you do it because you got to know what comes next. And the greatest thing I said about numbers is that when no matter what number is and you know what's next, numbers gives us expectation. Y'all agree with that? Is that when you are at 7, you are expecting for what number to come next? 8. And no matter how long you are at 7, you know that 8 is next. And when you get to 8, you can already have expectation to 9. But what happens when for some reason what you are expecting, it does not come? I told you one thing, that the worst part about expecting something when it comes to numbers is if you went to Sheets, you have experienced this before. Is that when you go there and you press on the screen, you might get your number and say 712. And then you begin to hear the numbers be called out according to the food that's coming. And so when 709 is coming, you get a little expectation and you say, okay, I'm about 3 people away. And then when 710 comes, you say, okay, I'm getting closer to my number. I'm hungry. I'm looking for my 2-for-1 hot dog that is about to get ready to come. And then when 711 comes, you say, okay, I am next. And it happens all the time, is that soon when they call the next number, then it has the most random number, 893. And you ask yourself and say, I don't even know how they went from 711 to 893. And in your mind, you say, what? I was supposed to be what? Next.
That's right.
That's the part sometimes, is that when you have expectation in something, you are demanding and expecting for it to come. But the worst situation to ever be in is to feel that you had next. If anybody ever played basketball on outside on the court, you would know that if you didn't get picked for the team on this game, the first thing you would call is say, what? I got next, or I got winners. And then the worst thing is when you get somebody who older than you come to talk about, I got winners. And you're afraid to go into them and say, well, I was supposed to have next. But you let it go ahead and slide. And soon when they step in, you say, what? I'll have next after that.
Yeah.
It's something about when you expect to be next in our lives is that when we see everybody blessed around us, see everything going good sometimes around it, sometimes you got to declare in the atmosphere of God and say, you know what? I have next. It may not be my season right now. It may not be my day right now, but I declare and demand, guess what? I have next. Somebody say I have next.
I have next. All right now.
What happens after you declare that?
Uh-huh.
And then you find out that you were not next.
Uh-huh.
And you positioned yourself to be next.
Yeah.
You get into the part of what our theme is, I should have been next. You see here in verse 2, it says, now there is at Jerusalem by a sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. And the thing to ask myself, why would they put the importance of letting us know that there were porches? And I thought about this, and I think I explained this to you all. I said this was very important because when you look at, even in verse 3, it says, in these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, blind. You can't get confused on that because most people look at that and think it says important folk. No, it says impotent folk. A blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. And I said, why would they try to make it very, very important to tell us not necessarily, one, that they were sitting on porches, but then the number of 5. Understand the number of 5 is the number of what? Grace. And I know about us is that every morning we wake up with what? New grace and mercy. God is the God of grace. And sometimes, even if we don't deserve it, come on, somebody, God still gives it to us. Is that not grace? I don't know about you, but I thank God that God has given us grace because I can admit that everything that I received from God, I did not deserve it. I can admit that everything that I received from God that I was not qualified for, but God saw fit to give it to me anyway. Some of y'all are missing that because let me help you understand that some of us are not necessarily qualified, but some of us living today did not deserve it, but God still woke us up this morning and started us on our way. That's why He tells us we should be dancing when we come into the house of the Lord. It says, "What enter into His gates with thanksgiving and into His courts with praise." Because if you just thought 3 seconds about how your life really is, you will be thanking God that He allowed you to wake up to come into the house of the Lord. So we enter in telling you, Lord, I thank you. And you come in there with a praise saying that if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I don't know where I would be. I would be laying in the grave right now. But God saw fit. Come on, somebody. That's why you don't have to focus on how bad your life may be, how many mistakes you made. But when God wakes you up in the morning, sometimes that got to be the greatest praise in your life. You almost got to wake up and say, God, I thank you for waking me up this morning. I don't deserve it. I didn't do everything right. But God said, you put air in my body. Thank you. Come on, somebody. That's why praise is not conducive to how your life is going. Praise is totally supposed to be given to God. And when you think about what God did for you and not about what you didn't do for Him, you'll be free to praise God. Oh, come on, somebody. That right there to get you through the next week. That God said, don't focus about what you did not do for me, but come on, understand what I did for you. I woke you up this morning. I delivered you out of your mess. I gave you light in the midst of your darkness. I did that just for you. Somebody say just for me.
Just for me.
I'm not talking about a perm. I'm talking about God. Come on, somebody. Just for me.
Thank you, Lord.
He did it just for me. Taylor made that just for me. That even though He went down the street and woke somebody else up, guess what? He did not skip over me. Just for me. And so we got to get to a place in time that we thank God for God's grace. And so it said there were 5 porches that was right here outside of the pool. And I begin to understand this as I've said this, is that porches are a part of the house. But the worst thing about porches are porches serve a purpose. It transitions you from outside to what? Inside. And even though the porch is a part of the house, it can never be in the house. Y'all totally missed that, but it's okay. But the worst part about it is that we got to quit being comfortable being on the porch. Come on, somebody. Because I can be at your house, but never be in your house. Come on, somebody. You can't lie to nobody and tell somebody, well, I was at such and such house, and such and such ain't never seen you, and you was not sitting on such and such couch. Guess what? You was not at their house. Come on, somebody. Guess what? We got to get to the point on, somebody. It said that there was impotent folk dealing with different things, and they were struggling, but they were sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
God said, what I have for you is on the inside. What we're trying to say, there's people at church, but guess what? They're not in church. Come on, somebody. You might as well turn to your neighbor and say, don't be a porch sitter.
Don't be a porch sitter.
Yeah, don't be a porch sitter. God ain't calling you at church. He wants you to be in church. He ain't telling you to be at the building, but he wants you to be in the body of Christ. It ain't going to do you no good being on the porch. God said, I want you in, not at. Come on, somebody.
I know that.
You can't get comfortable sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
I know it's comfortable on the porch. I know the wind, I know the breeze just breezes on by on the porch. I know you can be nosy on the porch. I know you can see everything from the porch. God said, I didn't call you to the porch.
All right.
That's right.
My healing is not on the porch. My deliverance is not on the porch.
Yeah.
See, we gotta understand that it's a difference between work and faith.
No, all right.
Work gets you on the porch, but faith gets you in the house. Come on, somebody. And God said you cannot get so comfortable being on the porch that you never want to get in the house. Oh my Lord, today. You can't get so comfortable being on the porch. And don't be calling Grandma Parker talking about Grandma Parker. Y'all did that with Mother Jenkins. Now all of a sudden you're going to tell Mother Parker and talk about Mother Parker.
Well.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Jesus.
But understand this. Comfortability keeps us where we are at. Comfortability keeps us where we are at. So what happens is that we go with what's normal. Then to go with what's right. Why would a woman struggle for 12 long years in her condition?
Yeah.
Because at some point in time, she went with what was normal instead of going with what was right. And sometimes, even though our circumstance that is uncomfortable, that is unenduring, it's hard to bear, it's what's normal. And when you stay in something for so long, it becomes normal. And even though you know you should get out of it, since it is normal, you rather stay in it. Oh, come on, somebody. See, faith is not comfortable. Sometimes faith is uncomfortable. Sometimes faith is challenging. Sometimes you have to endure some process when you are illuminating faith. But God said that you don't have to worry about comfort in this, because if you have some now faith, it's what the substance of things, what hope for, and the evidence of things not seen. So even if I got to be uncomfortable just for a little while, guess what? I know it's what coming on the other side. We talked about that last week. That sometime after you have suffered a little while, you don't have to worry about what you have to go through, because what God is giving you on the other side is what you already need.
Yeah.
But we got to get to the place is that just like airports and airplanes, you can leave the terminal, but never leave the tarmac. So at the end of the day, even though you left from where you was at, you stayed where you were.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Oh yeah, I gotta take that same all moment, because you understand that now, yeah. See, sometimes you can have pulled off from the terminal, but been waiting hours on the tarmac.
Yeah.
And what happens is that you get too comfortable. Because some of us are eager to be separated from our circumstance, but afraid to leave it. I don't want to be. I want to be separated from it. But I'm too afraid to leave my circumstance. Come on, somebody. Because I understand what my circumstance is doing, but I can't be too far away from it, because it's all I know. But understand that God is not calling you just to separate yourself from something. He's calling to deliver you out of it. Come on, somebody. Some of us are only separated from our issues, separated from our situations. But God said, I'm calling you from separation to deliverance. Come on, somebody. I'm calling you from what? Brokenness, and through healing to what? Wholeness. Come on, somebody. You are not just going to get separated from what's binding you, but God said, I'm about to deliver you from what's binding you. Come on, somebody say, separate yourself.
Separate yourself.
I should have been next. We see porches are located at, but not located in. We got to come out of the mindset of being a porch sitter. What is this? Is that you see the man's excuse, and we'll go into further at that. See, this man has probably been sitting there for quite some time. Now, I have to understand this. We got to understand this. Don't let your position become your mindset.
All right.
What I mean by that is don't let your level of circumstance become your level of thinking. Because sometimes you can be in a situation, but not in the situation. What did I mean by that? Because you can be, the world can be in a financial crisis and God can still be blessing you.
Amen.
Oh, come on, somebody. The world can be in the midst of darkness, but God can have all type of light around you. So what happens is that we can't look at ourselves. Just like that, just like the prodigal son, that when the prodigal son was sitting in his circumstance, that he almost was accepted to his circumstance when he began to want to eat what the pigs were eating. But it then says what? He did what? Came to his senses. And he understands that even though my surrounding, even though my circumstance is one way, I serve a God. Come on, somebody. I serve a God that even in the midst of what my circumstance tells me, I know that I still serve a God that's greater. Come on, somebody. That's what we just sitting there talking about and singing about, is that even in the midst of weakness, guess what? I still serve a strong God. Even in the midst of darkness, guess what? I still serve a lighter God. Even in the midst of being lost, guess what? I still serve a God that never leave me nor forsake me. God is sitting there telling you that you don't have to submit to the level of your circumstance, because guess what? I'm greater than your circumstance. Oh, come on, somebody. That's the type of God that you're going to serve, that when depression trying to get you over, guess what? God will still give you joy. When morning trying to come into your home, guess what? God will still give you peace. Come on, somebody. When a storm comes raging, guess what? God will still give you what? Safety. I serve a God that is greater than your circumstance. So that when your circumstance begins to speak to you, you can begin to speak to your circumstance. When your circumstance begin to say, you know what? A weapon is formed against you. You can begin to speak back to your circumstance and say, no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. When you begin, your circumstance begin to speak to you and say that you can't do nothing. You can begin to speak to your circumstance and say, I can do all things. Not some things, but guess what? All things through Christ which strengthens me. When your circumstance begins to fight against you, you can be able to speak back to your circumstance and say, greater is he that's within me than he is within the world. Come on, somebody. Your circumstance has nothing on God. So you got to be able to tell yourself that even though I may be on the porch, my spirit is in the house.
That's right.
Oh, come on, somebody. Even though my circumstance has me on the porch, oh, my spirit has me in the house. Come on. Come on, somebody. I may not be in right now physically, but spiritually, I'm already there. Come on. You got to be able to speak those things that are not as though they were already are. So yes, you may be sick in your body, but guess what? You have the boldness to be able to say, guess what? I am healed. You may be struggling in your flesh right now, but you may be able to speak into the atmosphere and say, you know what? I am strong. You may be struggling in your mindset right now, losing your mind, but guess what? In the spirit, you can be able to talk and say that my mind is right. Come on, somebody. I may be poor right now, but guess what? In the spirit, you can say, I am rich. I serve a Father that has many mansions. I serve a Father that has a mansion stored up for me. Come on, somebody. God said that even when your circumstance wants to take you,
Yes.
Oh, God.
you can speak your existence in the atmosphere.
Come on.
So even though darkness is all around me,
Oh, God.
my light is already stored up in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, if somebody want to act, they gonna be like, why are you acting like you got it? Because you let them know, guess what? It's already in the house. Oh, come on, somebody. They gonna be like, why are you acting like you already have it put together? Because guess what? My put together is already in the house. I know you don't see it. I know you don't understand it. I know, but guess what? It's not for you to understand. Just know that guess what? It's already in the house. Guess what? You may see my story right now on the porch, but guess what? Oh my God, what I'm going to become is already in the house. It was not meant for bad, but guess what? God is turning it around for my good. My good is in the house. My bad is on the porch. Come on, somebody. I speak that into your life. And so, verse 3, it says this. It says waiting. They were waiting for the moving of the water. And what happens is this, is that sometimes we rely on the God in the water instead of relying on the God of the water. You get caught up in waiting and looking for signs. When God is saying, I've already been here.
Yeah.
That's right.
They were waiting for the move in the water. When they should have been waiting for the move of God.
Yeah.
Y'all get that? It's more comfortable to trust in the outcome or the effect of Him rather than putting our trust directly in Him. We're getting into a season right now that you can't. I know we talk about we want to have miracles, signs, and wonders. But I'm a firm believer that God just wants to see us.
Yeah.
He wants us to experience Him.
Yeah.
Because when you get caught up in signs and moves of God, you forget about God. Come on, somebody. And then when you come to church, that's what the problem is. When we come to church, we look for everything about God and forget that He is God. And so when God does visit us, we are looking for a shout, or we're looking for jumping and hanging around the light fixtures. This is just to say that God was moving in our lives. But come to tell you the truth, He was moving on you before you left out your house. Come on, somebody. We're going to be able to expect God and God alone.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you,
It
Lord.
says, but again, now faith is the substance of things what hoped for.
Yeah.
Because what we walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah.
That's right.
You got to be able to have faith that God is already here.
All right.
To preface that, we see this. It says that so we are always confident, knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are what? Absent from the Lord. Then it goes into verse 7. It says that we walk by faith and not by sight. Then verse 8 says we are confident, yes, well pleased, rather to be what? Absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Now the revelation I got even out of that text is this, is that if you focus on what you see, you keep yourself from seeing what God sees. Come on, y'all already know that. You can't keep focusing on what you see, because if you always focus on yourself on the porch, guess what? You'll never see yourself in the house.
Yeah.
You ever get locked out your house?
My goodness.
Yeah.
You talk about some faith. I be trying to see myself in the house
Yes.
without breaking the window too. How can I get in this house? You go around the house looking for windows you know you never opened. You go here and there, seeing if there's a door unlocked, knowing that door has never been unlocked. You're seeing yourself in the house, hoping that you can get yourself into the house. But when you understand this, if you keep focusing on yourself being on the porch or outside of the house, guess what? You'll never get in. And God is saying that yes, your circumstance may be on the porch right now, but God is saying, I am trying to challenge you to look beyond your circumstance. And sometimes you gotta be able to look beyond your circumstance to be able to get beyond your circumstance. What God is saying is this, is that you got to be able to see it, because He said if you refuse to see it, guess what? You'll never see it. And God said what you are in the physical realm has nothing to do with what you are in the spiritual realm. So if you look past what you see, you will begin to see it. Understand this is what the word tells us, because if you look past what you see, guess what? You'll begin to see that you can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. If you look past what you see, you'll begin to see that, guess what? He can do exceeding and abundantly above all that we shall ever ask or think. But you got to be able to look past what you see.
Yeah.
Oh, touch yourself and say, God, help me look past what I see. Oh, help me look past the miserableness. Help me look past the harshness. Help me look past the darkness. Matter of fact, God, help me look past the brokenness so I can see whole.
Amen.
While you're waiting on the effect of Him, you may miss Him. Once again, don't be too busy waiting on the move of God that you miss God. Next verse says this, says, for an angel went down in a certain season. And many of us is waiting for that season. We have claimed it. Some of us in January 1st said, this is my year.
All right.
And January 2nd started looking like December 30th. And you got distracted because you've seen some reflections of your last year. But God said that even though it may not reflect the new year that you thought it was going to be, you'll be surprised about how I'm going to bless you. You may be actually walking in your season, even if you don't recognize the season. Oh, come on, somebody. It can be 90 degrees in the middle of the fall, and you can still be, guess what, walking in the fall. I don't care how much you want to claim that summertime is still here, but at the end of the day, if it's October 13th, And guess what? It is 90 degrees. Guess what? You are not walking in summer. You are walking in fall. And God said that even if your season doesn't reflect what you think it's going to reflect, come on, somebody, you are walking in your season. So have faith in the season that God has already given you. Have faith in the season that you are walking in, because you never know what's going to be in the outcome.
Yes.
I've learned this. No matter how long winter takes to get here, it comes.
Yes, it does.
Jesus.
I don't even know if it snowed before January last year. But at some point in time, it just continued to keep snowing. As hot as it was in the beginning of the winter time. At the end of the day, negative 15 degrees did come to us. Come on, somebody. So you may think it's never going to come. You may think it's not here. But guess what? The evidence of the season shall come.
Yeah.
You understand this? You're going to ask yourself this. Do you want to be made whole? The Lord, Jesus sees him. And it says we see this man who had an infirmity 38 years. It says when Jesus saw him lie, he knew that he had been there for a long time. That's encouraging in itself. This was their first interaction, their first encounter. But Jesus knew that he was there a long time. First time they may have seen each other and met each other, but he knew that he was there a long time.
Yeah.
What am I saying to you even on that? Is that you got to understand that God knows all.
Yes.
You may have been struggling in your situation for quite some time, but we don't serve a God of ignorance.
That's right.
We serve a God that knows all.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you may have been in your situation for quite some time, but do not think in your mind that God does not know what you've been going through. Come on, somebody. Do not believe or think. Don't let the enemy distract you to make you believe that God has forsaken you. Because it says, well, I have never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging for bread. He said that he will never leave us nor forsake us. That was a promise from the Lord. And so sometimes, even when we feel alone, come on, Jesus was in the same predicament when he was hanging there on the cross. He said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? But understand that sometimes your enduring and your process is in the plan of God. I know it may not feel good. I know it may not be comfortable. But guess what? It's still in the plan of God. So you ask you this question. Knowing you've been laying there or sitting there for quite some time. And he asked him a simple question. Do you want to be made whole? And what this man begins to do, he begins to answer like how they used to answer on, do you want to be a millionaire? Says, who is the yellow bird on Sesame Street? Instead of just saying big bird, they start going through a whole dissertation. Well, when I was young, 6 years old, I believe my parents, you didn't know how to answer that show? My parents used to just turn on the TV, and I used to just catch this bird, and then when he would sing his song, and I would understand that it was Big Bird. And you would be like, why couldn't you just answer the question from the very beginning? And so this man, Jesus asks this man, do you want to be made whole? I know if I was on the porch, come on somebody, I was trying to get in the pool. And every single time that I tried to get in the pool, somebody else got there before me, and somebody came along and asked me, do I want to be made whole? I would be like, yes, I want to be made whole. Not this guy, player, not this guy. He sat there and went through a whole dissertation making excuses about why he was not already made whole. God did not ask you that. He didn't ask you, why were you not whole? He asked him, did he want to be whole? Oh, come on, somebody. And what happens is, that is the level of complacency. Is that when you have the opportunity to be made whole, you start talking about why you have not been whole. You start going down the thing and say, well, every single time that I tried to go into the pool, and I know that it's my turn, and I should have been next. There has been somebody that has been stepping before me. And he said, the first thing he said was that I don't have another man to help me into the pool. Because every single time I try to get to the pool, somebody else gets in there before me. Come on, somebody. That's the first mistake, because you keep waiting for somebody else to get something that they need as well. Guess what? They're always going to jump in front of you. Come on, somebody. But God is saying you never needed man in the first place. All you needed was me. Come on, somebody. You never needed nobody else's help. Guess what? All you needed was me. That's why we sing that song. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. Right. I searched what? High and low. Still couldn't find nobody. And guess what? It took them 38 years to understand, guess what? There's nobody greater. Yes. Nobody greater than him. And we gotta understand that, guess what? I want to encourage you. Don't let it take you 38 years. Don't let it take you 12 years to understand that all you need is God to get what you need. You know where your life is going. You know what you need to fix. But God said, if you just trust in me, somebody say trust in him.
Trust in him. Yeah.
This man gives him nothing but excuses.
Yeah.
God is not looking for an excuse. Because guess what? The greatest thing about this is that Jesus understood. You've been trying everything else. You've been relying on everything else. So understand, he asked him, do you want to be made whole? Because I know that everything you tried, it wasn't working. And it wasn't working because it wasn't me. So you can tell me everything about everything else and everybody else, but at the end of the day, all you needed was me. And we got to get out the mindset because comfortability kept him from saying yes. It's comfortable on the porch. Because in the beginning of the text it says what? It was all filled. 5 porches was filled with impotent folk. That means that guess what? It wasn't really my concern to move that fast past the porch. Because guess what? I had other people who needed God too, who didn't get it. Come on, somebody. And sometimes when you see there's a group of people not moving, guess what? You're not in any urgency to move yourself. Because sometimes we get comfortable in groups. So as long as you struggle, guess what? I'll struggle. As long as you weak, guess what? I'm weak. As long as you ain't going, guess what? I won't go. But God said, will you move past your naysayer? Will you move past the folk that's lazy? You gotta get to a place in your life that, guess what? If nobody else wants to be made whole, guess what? I'm going to be made whole. If nobody else wants it from God, guess what? I'm going to want it from God. Come on, somebody. God said, you got to move past the porch. It's September. It's time to move past the porch.
I know you're right.
Quit calling yourself a babe in Christ. No, you've been a babe in Christ for 45 years. Move past the porch.
I know you're right. I know you're right.
Quit making the porch an excuse. Do what you want to do. Act how you want to act. We all time excuses sometimes become justification. And God is saying, I gotta worry about that. How do I know that? Well, guess what Jesus said? Here we go. The man gave him an excuse, and what did Jesus say? Rise up, take your bed, and walk. Did y'all understand that? Jesus didn't even entertain the excuse. The man went on a 45-minute dissertation about why he's not whole. And Jesus never responded to the excuse. When he got done talking, all he said was, rise up, take up your bed, and walk. If it was in my version, I would have had all this other stuff. I ain't worried about all that. I don't want to hear all about those excuses. Just get up and walk. God is saying the same thing. Whatever has came your way, I'm not worried about it. Because whatever is trying to distract you, whatever is trying to destroy you, guess what? It's not bigger than me. It's not greater than me. Guess what? Your comfortability is not greater than me. Your mindset is not greater than me. Matter of fact, your laziness is not greater than me. But guess what? All you got to do is get up and walk. Come on, somebody. If you really want out your situation, if you really want to be made whole, it doesn't matter what used to happen. It doesn't matter what happened way back when. God said today, you can just get up out of your mess. Get up out of your circumstance. Get up out of your situation. You don't got to wait for nobody. You don't got to get yourself together. You don't have to buy another wardrobe. God said, just get up. Somebody say, just get up. That's all you got to do. Just get up.
Just get up. All right now.
All you got to do was to get up. The Bible says what? Immediately. Oh my God, today. That's the type of God that we serve. It says, and immediately the man was made whole. I keep trying to tell y'all this. It's not about works. It's not even about what you can do. It's about what God can do. It's about what God can do. When God says it, guess what? It don't matter when it don't fit in nobody's agenda. It don't matter if nobody else understands how it happened. But when God says you made whole, guess what? You made whole. I don't care who has not forgiven you. I don't care who has not forgot about what you have done. But when God said it, you have to believe it. That when he says you made whole, guess what? You don't got no legs. You better stand up on some legs. Come on, somebody. If he said it, you ought to believe it.
I know that's right.
You ought to believe it.
Thank you, Lord.
God say this, we get into a place and time in our life. And we say, I should have been next.
Come on.
And God is saying that it's not that he's overlooking you.
Uh-huh.
You are overlooking him. Oh my God, today. He's not keeping you from your next blessing. He's not keeping you from your healing. He's not keeping you from your deliverance. God is saying you are overlooking him. And if you want it, like you know you need it. Come on, somebody.
All right now.
That's something right there. You got to want it.
You got to want it.
Like you need it.
Yeah.
Some of us don't want what we know we need. But some of us need what we know we don't want. But you got to want it.
Yeah.
Like you need it. And if he can go and speak, and we have the faith that he just what speaks the word. Same way the centurion went back and he said, I'm not even worthy for you to be in my home. But if you just what? Speak the word.
Yeah.
And I know that my soldier will be healed. Stand to your feet.
Thank you, Lord.
I should have
Good word.
been next. You get tired
Should have been.
sometimes of seeing everybody else.
Oh, God.
Blessed on the job.
Uh-huh.
Blessed in the community.
Uh-huh. Well.
Y'all know y'all asking questions.
Uh-huh.
Lord, I've been giving.
Uh-huh.
I've been faithful.
Uh-huh.
And you blessing?
Uh-huh. I know you're right.
No, y'all gotta admit it. I'll admit it for y'all.
All right.
But we ask ourselves. And we say, I've been doing everything that I possibly can.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like it was my time.
Jesus.
Just to find out that it has not came yet.
Yes.
God is saying your next blessing is not going to look like nobody else's.
That's right.
It's not going to look like your neighbors down the street. It's not going to look like your neighbors in a different church.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about you, but this old song says, I had a blessing with my name on it.
Yeah.
Don't you like personalized gifts?
Uh-huh.
They know exactly what type of wrapping paper to give you.
Yeah.
They know what color to buy you. It's tailor-made just for you.
Ah.
So don't get discouraged because what's happened in somebody else's life didn't happen in yours.
Uh-huh.
Because when you focus on that,
Yeah.
you'll miss what God is doing just for you.
Yeah.
That's why they say don't take nobody else's medication.
Well.
It's supposed to be tailor-made just for you. You be walking around talking about something, you got some ibuprofen,
Well.
2,500.
Well.
That 26, 2,500 ain't for you.
Well.
You weigh 117. That's going to lay you out.
Thank you, Jesus.
And what happens is we try to take on somebody else's blessing as our own. And we miss what God has for us. God is saying this. He wants you to be encouraged. Because, yeah, you may be standing in line, awaiting that your number be next.
Thank you, Lord.
And it may seem like you've been overlooked. But like I like about Sheets and many other places, is that when you do your order, it's tailor-made just for you.
Oh, thank you.
And God is saying that what you have been waiting for is on its way.
Yes.
Come
Yeah.
on, lift your hands in this sanctuary.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Bless you.